right. Okay. So what I will do is as it is the first class. Okay. So I'll try to make it more kind of a informative session, which could the people who are joining for the first time, they can also get the understanding about data science, and the people who are attending have attended the demo and attending this first class, they will get some more understanding about data science. Okay, so once again, welcome to this session. So yeah, I hope you can see my screen and you can hear me loud and clear. Please confirm, guys. Perfect. All right, so I wanted more interactive session. Okay, so please feel free to stop me anywhere if you have any doubts, any questions, or if you have any comments. Okay, please stop me and you can go ahead and unmute yourself and you can speak. All right, so the people who are joining for the first time, just a quick question for them. What do you understand about data science? Anybody?
A data that should be driven by scientific technologies. Not sure. I'm sorry.
Data is driven by scientific technologies. For what?
For any domain or any industry, like using technology to drive data intelligence.
Okay. All right. Any other views? Any other comments?
What I think is you build something that gives you all the information you could get for to find the data of something.
Okay, so to get all the information. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so in like.
Okay, so again, the subsequent question: what is it? What do you think? What is the difference between data analytics and data science? Or do you think it's more or less the same thing? So we are hearing data analytics since long, right? And from the recent past, we are hearing data science and all this stuff. So it's more of a buzzword now. So what do you think? What is the main difference between data analytics or data science? Or do you think it's one and the same?
Shrikant, what I understand is basically data science is the prediction. However, data analysis is for the past and the present. That's what I noticed.
Yeah. Correct. Partially correct. Yes. All right. So fine. And the people who have joined for the first time, may I know, how many of you are freshers and what is your background? Just to, for me to understand your background so that I'll kind of cover the topic. So Garima, may I know?
Yeah, Shrikant. Thank you for giving this opportunity to introduce myself. I was working with Microsoft, and I've taken a break for 1 year to upgrade myself on AI technologies, and that's how I'm got into this session.
Okay, so in Microsoft, on which domain you were working?
Sorry?
In Microsoft, in which domain you were working?
I was into IGT and I was into sales. I was selling all the cloud solutions of Microsoft.
So why all of a sudden you wanted to move to artificial intelligence?
Oh, it's a good relation. It's a brilliant question, Shrikant. Why I want to move to AI because data science specifically because the sales techniques, the sales terminologies, the sales techniques are being revised, are getting upgraded with the time, with the new incorporating new technologies into the business, and that's how the transformation business is looking up to. So that's the reason I'm keen to get into
that. Basically, you might have heard about business transformation, digital transformation, right, and all those things, and that's how you got interest, to learn this subject, right?
Absolutely, I just want to.
Even my background is more or less, similar to yours. Okay, so I'll cover my background too in a while. Okay, thanks, Karima. Anybody else wants to go next? The people who are hearing me for the first time, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, this is Vishwa. Yes,
Yeah. Go ahead, Vishwa.
Yeah, hello everyone. My overall IT I'm going to introduce myself. My overall IT experience is 8 years, and I'm completely from middleware and typical I'm going to reskill my knowledge. So that's
Okay.
why I want to learn AI. So for
Okay.
that, we have to kill the technology. So they are told me like inside the data science also, we are going to cover AI. That's why I
Okay.
joined.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Vishwa.
Yeah.
Welcome for the session. Anybody else? Hafsa? Do you want to go next?
Hi, I work at a Amazon Sellers Place as a station leader, so it's my first time doing something tech related.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So thanks for introducing yourself. So one more interesting question which is coming to my mind is like now you guys are mentioning artificial intelligence. So and do you know what is the difference between data science and artificial intelligence? Or do you think there is any kind of relationship between AI and data science?
Shrikant, your voice is echoing.
My voice is echoing. Is it for everyone?
Yeah, Shrikant, true. Your voice is echoing.
Okay, just is it any better now?
Yeah, far better.
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
All right. Yeah, so I'll just repeat. Okay, so you guys have mentioned artificial intelligence. So do you think artificial intelligence is altogether a different subject apart from data science, or do you think there is any relationship between data science and artificial intelligence?
Because artificial intelligence is a huge umbrella. Under that, one minute segment is data science.
Okay.
That's what I understand.
Okay.
It's a combination of other software, not only related to data science, like it's a combination of Python or machine learning, Java. Like based on the requirement, we can gather all the softwares and then that is like an
Okay.
not like a one kind of it.
Okay, so you're saying AI is a bigger umbrella and in that data science is a subset. That's what you meant to say? Okay, so I would say that these are two parallel things. Okay, so let's suppose this is data science and this is AI. Definitely both the areas are vast. Okay, but there is an overlap. Okay, and Garima, as you mentioned that data science, you just mentioned that it's a predictive analytics, but it is more than that. It's not just predictive analytics. Okay, so basically data science helps us, to find out a lot of hidden patterns out of the data, which we can use it as a knowledge. And that knowledge would be helpful for us, to make some kind of a predictions, to do some kind of a predictive analytics. And that predictive analytics would act as an intelligence, okay, for developing any kind of a AI applications. So that's a kind of a commonality between the data science and the AI. But as you guys mentioned that, yes, of course, AI is a much more broader umbrella. Okay, so when you're developing an AI application, you just only don't require only the model, but there is a lot of other things which goes around it. Okay, so if you are developing any kind of an application, AI application, so not just the model, but a lot of other things like app development, deployment, monitoring, infrastructure, all those things will come into play, right? And when you are thinking about or developing a robot, again, a lot of things comes into play like robotics, okay, all that mechanical engineering, all the electrical engineering, a lot of other things. Okay, so when you put all this together and then build a system, then that is known as an AI system. And the intelligence part, the most important part of AI application, which is the intelligence, comes from data science. And how it comes, what are the different ways through which we can derive intelligence from the data, which we can embed into these applications, that we will discuss now. Okay, so in and all, data science is altogether one different vertical and the AI is a different vertical, but there is an overlap. Okay, and when you talk about data analytics is a more of a traditional, I would say, domain of analyzing the data. And as you very rightly mentioned, earlier we were just analyzing the past data. Okay, we are just finding out what has happened in the past. Okay, we were describing that data in the form of reports and dashboard and analyzing to get some kind of information from the past data. We were very much limited to that extent. But later, after that, we have seen that there are certain data science approaches which we can utilize, to derive much more hidden insights from the data. Okay, and we can analyze the data much more efficient way than we were doing earlier by using some traditional techniques and methods. Now that whole domain was started being called as advanced data analytics. Okay, and this advanced data analytics, after a while, being called as data science. Okay, because in this advanced data analytics, we were concentrating more on the science part. So what is the science? What goes into it? How we can derive hidden patterns. We will just look at it. Okay, so that's kind of a relationship between all these different things. And you might have also heard about a lot of other terms like data mining. Okay, data wrangling, data massaging, data processing, right? So, and data engineering. So anybody can explain me what could be the difference between data engineering and data science? So these are the things which is important for you to understand, so that if you're developing any kind of a data product or data solution, you will understand what all goes into this. Okay, so what do you think? What is the difference between data engineering and the data science?
Maybe data engineering is more like, using the data. Maybe we engineer the data and we develop new kind of data. Maybe creating something out of the data. That is data engineering. Data science is more like analytics, I guess. It's science, right? So we do a lot of research, or we do, we find some hidden pattern, something like that. But engineering is like, we bring something out of the data. We develop new things.
We develop new things.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think about engineering? See, if you dissect the words, okay, you will easily get the definition. Okay, so what do you think? What is engineering? I think most of them are from engineering background. So what do you think this discipline engineering means for you? See, why I'm asking this question is just to enhance your thought process. Okay, so how logically and analytically you can think about certain things, okay, that I wanted to understand. And see, for becoming a data scientist, that logical and analytical skills is very, very important. That's something you have to learn on your own. Though this science and this theory part, concepts, everything you will learn, okay, through the courses or through materials, but there are certain analytical skills and logical skills which you have to develop. Okay, so when we talk about engineering, it's all about you take any discipline. Okay, it's all about how we can put different blocks together to develop some running ecosystem or running system. Okay, a working system. For example, the automobile. Okay, so there are different parts to it. So we should know how to put that together in a way such that you can have a engine or an automobile which can work, okay, the way you are expecting. So here we have to engineer the data. So what does that mean is, now in current in the current situation, every business is acquiring the data from various sources. Earlier they were very limited, but now they're numerous. Okay, so data is being generated from various sources and being stored in various databases, in various data systems. And the bigger problem is to acquire or to extract this data from all these sources and then putting it together. Okay, so that is engineering part. So we also call sometimes as a data plumbing. Okay, so what does this plumber does? Okay, so there is a water storage, okay, on top of the building, and then he has to make sure that the water is flowing to every apartment or every flat, okay, or every household in that particular building. So that's the job of the plumber. Here also the data, before even storage, you need to build a pipeline. This data engineers have to build a pipeline which can extract the data from various data sources, capture, and then store it in certain places. Now, in a very I would say enterprise level, there could be lot of such data storage, data repositories. It could be a databases, it could be a data lake, it could be some data systems, or data could be can be generated from various streaming sources like IoT, sensors, web streaming. Okay, it could be a static data like ERPs or any CRM databases. So now to develop a solution, the data has to flow from all these sources and come to a common place from where this data scientist can pick up that data and start analyzing that data. So it is not a trivial job. It is the most complex job, for any enterprise. So the job of this data engineer is mostly that. Even, not only just capturing the way it has to get stored, okay, in a database, what could be the right schema to it, what could be the right relationship between the tables, all that things, they have to define it. So now for data scientists, data engineering is important. So now in the real world, the data scientists, they have to work closely with data engineers, but now, and even now certain data scientists, they are also doing the data engineering part also. So this is very important for you to understand. Your job may not start, at the day one. Okay, so first you have to identify which data you have to analyze, which is important to solve your problem, and then you have to get the data in the common place, and from there you have to pick it up and start analyzing that data. Okay, so you might have heard about ETL jobs or ELT jobs. So what is this? Extract, transformation, and load, or extract, load, or transformation. So it depends on the scenario, what kind of workflows you want to develop. So extract is all about extracting the data from certain sources. Transformation is you cannot directly use the raw data. You have to do some kind of a transformation on top of it, some kind of engineering, feature engineering, or the variable transformations you have to apply, and then you have to load it to a place from where this data scientist can pick that data and start analyzing that data and develop a solutions or products on top of it. So that's data engineering and data science. Now data mining. Okay, why I'm talking about all these things is just for your information so that you can understand all these terms. Okay, so data mining. So again, break this whole two words and understand it. Okay, mining, we all know what is mining. Mining is all about going deep into the earth and then mining out the precious resources which are there. It could be oil, it could be any other metals or something like that, right? So as we go deep, we'll start getting some valuable things. So here also the technique which can go and go deep into the data and extract some meaningful information and insights from the data is known as data mining. Again, you can relate it to data science. It is a subset of data science, data mining. Okay, so when you talk about data science, again, there are various techniques. Okay, so all that's methods and techniques and processes, all that which we follow in data science will be the subset. For example, machine learning, deep learning, reinforcement learning. Now we are also hearing about generative AI. So all these are like subset of data science. Okay, so now let's understand why now data science is in so much of demand. Okay, the people who are experienced, they would be very well be knowing that, okay, why the data science is in demand. Now, just Garima has mentioned that she has seen, and she was into sales, and she has seen that how businesses are transforming, how this digital transformations are taking place in various companies. Okay, so how this data are being used, to develop some intelligent products. Okay, which is enhancing their top line, bottom line, and even the operational excellence. Right. So the people are seeing the value. Okay, coming out of data with the help of data science. And by developing these AI applications, by using some predictive models and all those things, a lot of certain tasks can be automated. Okay, so for example, earlier where we used to see a lot of BPOs and call centers where the human agents were taking all the customer queries and responding. Now there is a chatbot, which is again an AI application. Now, with the help of these AI applications, just imagine how much cost can be saved, and how much efficiency they can bring into the whole process. So when a certain task is done by 10 people, all the 10 people will do it in a different way. If one customer query is asked to 10 different people, every person will answer that question in a different way, right? So even the precision and the quality may sometimes get hampered, when the humans are doing, because humans are driven by emotions. They get lethargic. Okay, they cannot do a certain task, mundane job, continuously for a long time, right? So there's a lot of disadvantage of doing this manual tasks. Okay, so now with the help of AI, if it is like a trivial job which can be automated, and if you are using certain intelligent, way to accomplish that task, then that particular task can, if you do it for 1,000 times, it will give you the same output. And 24/7, you can deploy, you can run these applications. So even the customer service can be improved, the cost can be saved, and the efficiency and the precision can also be maintained. Okay, so that's the value what the businesses, now the companies are looking out, from these AI and data science solutions. Now, when the world started understanding the value coming out of this data science, now there was a huge demand started, arising, of this data scientist who has these, basically the data science professionals who understand the science and who can extract meaningful insights out of this data. So from that time, it has become a very sexiest job, not only because of the compensation, but the kind of value these professionals who are getting across the organization is, again, you know they were getting a lot of value, because directly they uh, talk to the senior people, the CXOs and the business leaders, and the business leaders will also depend on these people, to derive a lot of value from the data. So now, out of all the software engineers and all other professionals, now data scientists are being seen a kind of a very important person in the company. Okay, and definitely they were paying crazy, okay, to these people, because the value coming out of the data was quite high, and they didn't mind, to pay whatever salary, needs to be given to this data scientist. And because of that, there was a lot of buzz started happening across the world, and the people started showing interest around this space of data science. And one more thing is, uh, even it is a very exciting field. Okay, when you talk about, when you hear scientist and artificial intelligence, just by hearing that, people get attracted and they start showing interest, right? So better salary, better value, okay, importance in the organization, and the new area to explore, which is kind of happening, and all those things, make started growing the demand of this data science scientist. Okay, so and at that time, when I started my career 17 years back. Okay, so when I was moving into data science, at that time it was not matured. Okay, so at that time people were thinking, how can we apply this data scientist, what kind of business problems can be solved through data science. So it was more of a exploration at that time, but now things have become very clear. Everyone has a very clear mindset that what kind of problems can be solved with data science. And at that time, there was not sufficient data. Required data was not available at that time to develop some data science solutions. But now there is data everywhere in the organization. Every process, in every event, the data is getting uh, generated. Every interactions, communications, engagements, transactions are getting digitized now. So data is everywhere. Okay, so with so much of data now, organizations are thinking about how can we derive value out of it now. Okay, so lot of different applications, softwares, products, okay, are being developed now. Okay, on the top of data, which can be very helpful to internal stakeholders as well as end users, for better efficiency and operations excellence. It is being used everywhere. So now that's the reason it has become a very hot and happening field in software. You can think about anything. Okay, now whatever existing applications are there in the in the market, in those applications also the AI is getting embedded. I'm not sure how many of you are aware that in all the Microsoft Office, that is a very old application, right? Microsoft Office like Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Now in that also the Microsoft has recently, Garima, I think you would be aware of it. So they have included the generative AI feature.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
They have incorporated that.
Incorporated that. So now they are selling it with some price now. So every application, every system which was being there earlier, now people are thinking how to bring the intelligence into it so that the users get better experience. Okay, so for that all these tools and applications are getting upgraded. Now even when you are talking about mobile phones or any kind of an applications or apps which you are using, in that also you will see some flavor of AI. Okay, so that's the reason it is very hot and happening field. So because of that, now there is a significant demand of the projects across the world. You can talk about any domain, guys, any vertical, whether it is horizontal functions inside the organizations like HR, finance, sales, marketing. So these are like you will find it in any organization. In all these different areas, domain, you can use data science. So I was, into marketing analytics for around 6 to 7 years. I was doing just marketing analytics. How I can improve my marketing activities, how I can increase the marketing efficacy, okay, activities efficacy, okay, to get more customers, how we can retain the customers, how we can sell more to our customers. So it's all about sales and marketing, in which I've worked for a longer time in my tenure. Okay, then in current organization we are also working on the HR analytics side, finance analytics side. Finance analytics, like how we can do a dynamic pricing. Now everything is on the fly. When you board Uber or Ola, you will see that when you're going from one location to another location every day, you will see there is a difference in the fare. It is all dynamic pricing. So by looking at all the external factors like traffic, weather, all those things, all the demand of the cabs, availability of the cabs, by looking at all those factors, that whole model generates the right pricing. Okay, so in the finance, in marketing, in HR, you will find analytics, and it can be applied in any vertical, any industry. When you talk about verticals like banking, healthcare, life sciences, consumer products, FMCG, retail, in all these functions also you will see plenty of use cases related to data science. So no restrictions, guys. Everywhere, even in the research field, we use data science. Okay, so that's how there is a growing interest to learn, because once you learn data science, the entire market is open for you. You can try in any industry, any vertical. Okay, so now coming to your questions in your mind, the people who are hearing me for the first time and came for the demo. So these kind of questions would be there in your mind. What exactly is the data science? So by now you might have got some just about what is data science, but we will discuss more on this. And then you would be curious about knowing what this guy, data scientist, does in his day-to-day job. Okay, so we'll understand that. What skills and trainings are required? People would be very much interested to understand, like, मैं कितने दिन में data scientist बन सकता हूँ, in how many months or how much time will it take for me to understand this subject. Okay, and what kind of trainings or learnings would be required for this. And definitely if there are pros there will be definitely cons also. So there would be certain challenges also which you may have to face when you get into data science. So we'll talk about those challenges, but trust me guys, those challenges are again very you love it. Okay, those challenges. Okay, so I would call that to solve a data science problem is just like solving a murder mystery. Okay, so I particularly like thrillers and suspense movies. So even when I'm solving any kind of a problem, data science problem, I take it in that way. Okay, so I try to find out for evidences. So here evidences is nothing but the data. We look out for the data. What kind of data can solve that problem? and you keep trying to solve that problem until and unless you get the desired results. And the kind of satisfaction you will get once you solve that particular problem, and when you start getting the appreciation from the business leaders, I can't tell you in words. Okay, so that's like top of the world kind of a feeling. Okay, so don't take it as a challenge. Challenges something like a uh, uh, roadblock, but it will push you, to do even better again and again. Okay, so is it a good fit for me? People from different background for different skill set definitely have that inhibition or that thing in their mind that whether it is a good fit for me. Can I be able to uh, you know do sustain in this field of data science? Okay, so we will talk about that as well, and how to acquire the relevant skills. So earlier it was tough for me, as I said, to get into this field because there was not clear learning path defined. So there were so many things available, but you don't know, where to start and where to end. Okay, but now again again at that time there was lack of information, lack of resources, but now there are plenty of resources and information available. There's so many institutes are offering data science course. There are so many online courses available. There are so many elite B schools. They are offering data science courses, that do for an year or 2 years long courses. So people will get confused, like whether in this 3 months how much I'll learn. Okay, because I'm seeing that there are courses for 1 year or 2 years, and in engineering college they have recently introduced data science as a subject. Okay, so there people are learning in a different way. So lot of confusion, right? How to learn, what to learn, how much to learn, because it's a vast field, guys. It's an ocean. How much you will learn, you will not feel that okay, it's enough. Okay, so you have to keep learning. In 17 years, there's not even a single day I didn't read anything about this subject. Okay, I keep reading it, I keep upgrading myself, and that's how I don't feel bored that I'm doing the same thing again and again. Every day it's a new learning. You learn new things, you apply that, and you solve some different kinds of problems. So that's how it goes. Okay, and then once you acquire all the skills, you learn the subject and how to look out for the jobs. That would be of one of your questions here. Right. So this is something I read your mind and I put all these questions. If you have any other questions apart from this, please do let me and stop me. If you wanted to get more details. All right. So what is data science? I'll show visuals. Okay, because as a data scientist, I believe on more visuals. So I'll get to a slide which give you a good understanding about what data science is. Okay, before that, let me cover this slide first. Okay, so on the skills part, I heard you people talking about technology a lot. Okay, you were talking about Python, you were talking about R, Java, and all those things. Guys, one thing I want to make it clear: this data science is not a technology. Okay, it's a complete technology agnostic field. Technology is just an enabler, to perform data science. There are several, you can't even count on your fingers that many tools and technologies are available in the market which you can use, to perform data science. Okay, so technology is just the enabler. Okay, even you can solve the problem by using pen and paper, but as the data is huge, is growing too much, and you have to deal with a lot of parameters. Doing by using pen and paper is not an easy job. So you have to have some kind of platform where you can do all this kind of an analysis. Earlier, you might have seen how the reports used to be generated during our grandfathers' time period or our parents' time. People used to do everything manually. They used to maintain the registers where they used to manually uh, monitor all the data, right? Even the railway reservations used to be done manually. I've seen when I was kid, when my father took me to a station, for reservation, long queues. Why they were taking so much time? Because they were doing everything manual. Everything was being recorded in a register. Okay, at that time they were doing register analysis, some level of analysis, like how much reservations they have done in a day, how much total amount of revenue they have generated. All that thing was done manually. But as the data started growing, so manually it was not an easy job. So then the technology came into play, right? So the technology started reducing the manual efforts to do that data analysis, right? So it is just an enabler. But there is a bigger thing which goes in data sciences, which is the most important is the subject, which is we call as science. Now, this is the science, okay, which you have to understand. This is the first fundamental thing which you need to understand before getting into data science. Few people think that okay, I learn Python, I learn R, and then I can become a data scientist. No, what you will do by using just a programming skill, okay, just a scripting language. Okay, so if you learn that, but how to apply that, where to apply, okay, that thing is important. Okay, so for that you need to understand this. Okay, and now let's understand what science is. Okay, so science, we know there are subjects like physics, chemistry, biology. Certain things are already been proved and defined by people earlier, and that we are studying in the subject. Right, a lot of laws and theorems already been proved, and we are using those laws and equations and theorems to solve some of our real problems. Right, and all the discovery is being made by applying those initial techniques and methods and then deriving some new equations out of that. Right, so here also in data science we have a subject. Yeah, any question? All right. Okay, so what I was saying, yeah, so this is a science. Here also there are certain set of techniques, methods, algorithms which has been proven. Okay, the people have done enough research, they have tested those algorithms, and then they have published it outside. Okay, now we have several algorithms, guys. Any kind of a problem you think of, can be solved with the existing algorithms. You need not to discover some new algorithms. By existing algorithm only, if you apply on the data, you can solve around 99% of the problems. Okay, so that's a good part. And as it is the most interesting field, the people started discovering and inventing a lot of new things, and that's how there's so many algorithms. Now you sometimes you will get lost. Okay, what all should I learn? There's so many algorithms available. Okay, so you need to understand all this subject, and these algorithms and these techniques are built on on these two subjects like mathematics and statistics. Okay, so when you heard about statistics, you might think about probabilities and all those things, right? So statistical test and all those things. So what is probability? It's the likelihood of certain events to occur, which is nothing but the predictions, right? If we am saying certain thing will happen with certain probability, you will understand, okay, what is the chance of that event to occur? If I say there is a 99% chance or probability that this India team will win today, so you will feel that there's a high chance. If I say there's 10%, you will feel that's a low chance, right? So it's again the probability. Then here, one step ahead, how we can use this probability and we can do a better job of predictions. That's something, okay, these algorithms will help us, to understand. Okay, then we talk about like deep learning, machine learning algorithms, like neural networks and all those things. These are all mathematics-based models. Okay, definitely there would be a flavor of probability and statistics, but heavily it is mathematics. So the mathematics and statistics you need to understand to such extent that you should be able to understand the algorithms. If you don't understand the basics of maths and stats, you won't be able to understand these algorithms. Okay, and if you don't understand these algorithms, you won't be able to choose the right algorithm, to solve the problem. Okay, so you'll be again lost. So this is the most important part which you need to learn, and this is a science. And right, what these scientists they do is they apply this science and they discover something new, right? That's the reason they are called as scientists. And here as a data scientist, our job is also the same. We have to apply this technique, we have to apply this knowledge on the data to discover some new patterns, relationships, insights out of the data. So that's how this role data scientist has been coined. Now this guy, he's a famous data scientist, okay, and he has come up with this Venn diagram, which clearly depicts that what kind of skills a particular data scientist should have, to do his job better. So firstly, the science, which is the most important, I'll rank it as one. The second important skill is the hacking skills. Here, hacking means not a typical hacking that you have to go and steal somebody's data, virtually. So not that. It's all about IT skills. How good you are with IT knowledge. Okay, if the data is sitting somewhere, okay, as I mentioned, okay, when we look out for evidences, we have to acquire the data or extract the data from multiple sources. If you don't know how to extract the data from various sources, again, it's a road stopper for you. How you will start? Because data is the key ingredient, right? So for that, you need to understand, you need to know, you need to have a knowledge about databases. Okay, you need to have the knowledge about certain programming, languages, so that you can get the data and process that data to utilize it, for analysis. Okay, and even if you want to apply these techniques, you need to know certain platforms, certain technologies on which you can start analyzing or start building these solutions. Finally, which I'll rank it as three, mainly for the experienced people. Okay, so this is termed as substantive expertise, but in layman terms, we can call it as domain expertise. Okay, so as I was keep on telling you, like business problem, right? Solving some problem. So here the work starts with a problem statement. The data scientist's work start with a problem statement. And this problem statement would come from various domain, from various industry, from various kind of processes. Okay. So if you don't understand that particular area, okay, or particular domain, you won't be able to understand the problem statement, right? If I if the customer is coming and saying that, okay, I have a huge problem with the inventory, okay, so my inventory is piling up, okay, because of which I'm incurring a lot of inventory cost. At the same time, if I'm very keenly maintaining the inventory, sometimes I'm losing the opportunities, okay, to stock out kind of situation they are getting in. How can I solve this inventory problem? Okay, so I have a past data. Okay, I have around 10 years of data. Can you help? So as a data scientist, if you don't understand how this inventory uh, you know is managed, okay, so you will not understand what data set, what data you need to capture. Okay, what kind of solutions shall I apply on this? Whether I need to run some predictive model or a prescriptive model, or just normal analysis would work. Okay, so a lot of questions may come up in your mind. Okay. So, but if you are a domain expertise, you know about this, how inventory works, okay, in the retail or in any supply chain kind of scenarios. If you understand the entire process, you will understand, okay, this information is important for me. Okay, this I need it. Or else you will discuss with the customer and you will try to understand their business problem. Okay, their processes. And to understand also, you need to understand their language. So some level of expertise is important if you are leading these projects and if you are the experienced data scientist, then this is something is expected out of you. Okay. So now these are the three major important skills which you have to build in. It's not something which you can get in a 1 day or 2 day or overnight. Okay, you have to start practicing on this. So first priority, the people who are getting into this field for the first time, okay, who wants to transition to this field, major emphasis you have to put it on this first this bucket, and then later on this IT skills, and simultaneously you have to start understanding the domain also. If you have worked in a particular domain, my advice would be, to understand the data science applications in your domain and start building your knowledge and skills around it. Okay, so that should be your path. Okay, so talking about, now we talked about skills. Now let's talk about um, basically data science. Okay, though it is mentioned as a data analytics, but it is more of an advanced data analytics and data science. You can call it as data science. So now in any organization or even your learning path should follow this path. Okay. So this is like step by step. It's a ladder. Okay. And you have to take one step at a time, to learn these skills, and that's how you can acquire good knowledge about data science. And even the complexity increases from bottom to top. Okay. And even for the organizations, to if they are planning to adopt AI or data science, even their journey should be like this. Okay. So firstly is the descriptive analysis. This is all traditional analysis. So descriptive means it explains you what has happened. So you have all the past data, historical data sitting in your database, okay, somewhere in data warehouse. Okay, and you pull that data and you start analyzing that data. So what was my sales last year, last to last year? Okay, what is the comparison of my regional sales? Okay, and who are my top customers? What are their buying patterns? All those kind of things. It's all about past. Okay, if you want to see the past performance, if you want to have some insight to understand what has happened in the past, okay, you go for a descriptive analysis. And in descriptive analysis, either we generate reports, but now reports is outdated. Now mostly people are going with the dashboards. Okay, so designing a dashboard, identifying the right charts, and coming up with the entire story, which can be depicted out of the dashboard, is altogether a separate task. Okay, it's a separate job, and that is called as BI. Okay, business intelligence. You might have heard about business intelligence. So, business intelligence is all about providing intelligence to the business, okay, with all the past information so that they can take a better decisions. Okay, so all these techniques ultimately help the business to make data driven decisions. Basically help, for decision making. Okay, and these decisions can be strategic, can be tactical, can be operational. So strategic is like at an enterprise level. Okay, you are strategizing. You're bringing up something you launch. You want to launch some new product, or you want to change certain processes. Okay, it's a big change, long-term kind of a decision what you want to make. Tactical is more of a medium plan. Okay, mid-term plan. So something a quick change you want to make in the existing process so that you can see the impact of those changes. Okay, so those kind of tactical like certain tactical improvisation if you want to make into any processes, those kind of decisions can be made through data science. And the operational decisions like real-time decisions, day-to-day job, into day-to-day job also, you take a lot of decisions. Those decisions, operational decisions, can also be made through this data science. Okay, so now this descriptive analytics primarily is used for strategic decisions. But yeah, you can see there are more of a real-time dashboards are also being developed nowadays, which will give you the real-time picture about a current scenario. And based on the current scenario, you can take a real-time decisions. So analyzing the present and the past comes under descriptive analysis. Okay, which you guys have mentioned. Now going beyond this, anything you are doing that comes under advanced analytics, because earlier, and we've been doing this descriptive analysis since ages, right? But something beyond that now has become advanced analytics. Now, even the diagnostic analytics has not been considered as advanced, but anything above predictive analytics is considered as advanced now. But earlier, even the diagnostic analytics has never been done. Okay, so only it was a static dashboard which was depicting the entire past performance was only was only being there. Okay. Now, what is this diagnostic analytics? Now the businesses started asking questions to these analysts, data analysts, that okay, I'm seeing in this my report there is a there is a change in the pattern of my sales. Okay, now can you go and find out the reason why it is happening? So basically, here the question is why it has happened. Okay, why it has happened, or certain event has happened. Okay, so now that can be answered through diagnostic analytics. So diagnostic, the word itself explains it. Self-explanatory. Diagnostic means go and find out the real cause of a problem, right? If there is a problem which is being identified from the data through descriptive analytics, and now the question what the business has is like, what is the root cause of this thing to happen, right? Now that can be addressed through diagnostic analytics. Here, it is more of a statistical field. Okay, so statistics is important here. So for example, correlation analysis, regression analysis, doing some kind of a statistical test on the data to see what is impacting what. Okay, whether my sales is impacted by price, or whether my sales is impacted by some external factors like weather condition, like inflation, like GDP. What is the real cause, which is driving my sales, which is impacting my sales, right? So that kind of, and now most of the companies, they are very eager to to understand what are the factors driving their sales. Internal factors, which we call as endogenous factors, or the external factors, or the exogenous factors. Identifying those factors is again is very 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 important, for the business to know. Okay, and based on that, they will make a better decisions. Now comes the predictive analytics. Now the business will not hasn't stopped there. Okay, they have more questions. They started asking these analysts, what will happen now? This poor chap, he doesn't know. He just understand to analyze the past data. Now, to predict something, he has to understand the science part now. Now comes the science. More of science is coming into play here. Okay, so all these machine learning techniques, all the deep learning techniques, all these predictive models, you need to understand so that you can apply it on the data to predict the future. You might have heard about forecasting. This is a very typical one of the predictive techniques, which can predict um, the unknowns. Okay, the future unknowns. Okay, and these forecasting time series models can be trained only on the time series data, where you have a time as one of the factors. But this predictive analytics can be used in other scenarios also. If you want to predict whether this customer will leave, okay, or whether this employee will leave my organization, whether this customer will buy my product, or okay, whether a particular machine will fail or not. Okay, so lot of questions would be there in businesses mindset, that whether this will work or not. Okay, whether this process will pass or fail. So lot of such kind of predictive knowledge can be built on top of the data. Okay, so what will happen? Kind of a questions can also be answered through this data science, and there comes this all predictive analytics. And see, and just imagine, guys, all this entire subject is based on the human psychology, guys. Okay, because here we are calling about intelligence, that too artificial, right? So this is man-made intelligence. So when the man thought about building this artificial intelligence, making these machines intelligent, firstly, he needs to understand how basically we as humans, we think, we take decisions. Okay, we understand and we acquire knowledge. Okay, that process, firstly, the humans need to understand. So the people who, basically who invented all these algorithms, it's not one single person. There were people together, like there were psychologists. Okay, the people who understand the neuroscience. They sat together and then they depicted, how our human brains perform, uh, and based on that, they have invented all these algorithms. Okay, so predictive analysis, how we can make the predictions in a real life, how we make predictions. We make predictions based on our experience, and with the experience, we acquire knowledge, right? So, and when we compare, we see that our elders, okay, who have more experience, they can predict much more efficient way than compared to us, right? Because they are more efficient. So they start giving us lot of suggestions in our real life, that don't do this, this may happen, do this is good for you. They do a lot of predictions, right? And they help us in making decisions. So that's how, these models, they learn a lot of different patterns, through the historical data, which is nothing but past events. And with that, it will understand and learn various patterns and relationship existing in the data. The model will understand what is impacting what. Okay, a certain thing changes in a particular parameter or particular variable, how it impact the output variable. So all that kind of a learning happens, and that's the reason these algorithms are named as machine learning algorithms. Here, the machines will learn all these things and acquire the knowledge. Okay, and once it is acquired the knowledge, whatever you want this model to predict, it will go and predict. Okay, so is that enough? Probably not. Now the business has furthermore things to they expect furthermore things. Now the last one is what should be done. What should be done? Okay. Now let's suppose business uh, has met into a certain scenario, and they are kind of very puzzled and they don't know, what decision to make. Okay. So now, okay, they are seeing the past, they have seen the past sales with the descriptive analytics. They understood that, okay, your sales is kind of impacted by the price. Okay, and now predictive analytics says that, okay, if you maintain the same price, your sales is going to further is going to go down. Okay, now now the further question is like, now what should be the optimal price? Should I maintain or should I put onto my product so that I can, same time I should get more profits and my sales should be good and it should not impact my business. So what should be done? What should be the optimal price? Now there comes the prescriptive analytics. So where the model will prescribe the optimal price to the business, saying that this is the optimal price which you should put onto your product and you will get better profits. And again, all this intelligence will come through a model. Okay, there is an optimization model, and to that optimization model, you have to first set the objective function, and that objective function is nothing but a model or an equation where you have to define the relationship between your sales and the price and whatever factors, okay, you want to consider. That clearly that equation has to be maintained, has to be defined, and that would be the objective function. Now the input parameters are price. Let's suppose there is only one parameter, price. Now you have to kind of simulate. You have to change this price and see the impact on the sales. And you have to do it continuously till you see that, okay, at this particular price, I'm achieving the maximum profit. So this is my optimal price. There are several other solutions in the prescriptive analytics like vehicle route optimization, transport cost optimization. So I have only 10 cars or 10 trucks and I have to serve 50 customers. How I can optimally utilize my fleet, to serve my customers better. Okay, I have a limited resources available. For example, if you are running a manufacturing plant, if you have limited raw material, limited labor, limited machine availability, and now you have to produce three products. How optimally, what could be the optimal mix, which you should go with so that you will get more profits? Even the portfolio optimization, guys. Let's suppose you have 5 lakhs with you and you have choices of investment. How much money you should allocate to each of these investments, which will enhance your overall portfolio, which will give you the better returns, right? So when we talk about mutual funds and all these fund managers, they do that only. So they allocate the amount in different funds so that there is a minimal risk and high returns. Okay, so all these under this, there is a prescriptive analytics, there is optimization algorithms which is running. So just imagine, okay, just instead of company, just imagine yourself. If you know what has happened, if you get the complete picture of your past, what has happened, you get the complete insight, okay, and you get the insight also of the present scenario, okay, why something has happened, okay, with the diagnostic analytics. And then if you start getting the foresight also, the future thing also in front of you, that what will happen. And after knowing the future, if you also know that, okay, what needs to be done, just imagine how easy your life would be, right? There wouldn't be no dilemmas, no, I would say, surprises, nothing. Okay, so everything will run smoothly in your life because you know at what time, what right decisions you have to make. Okay, so that's the value what data science is bringing into the business. And now the business, which is competent enough, to digitize the events or to capture the events, whatever events it may be, okay. Whether if they are talking to the customers, how many times they are talking to the customer, what they are talking, and how the customer is responding, every engagement, transactions, whatever I spoke, okay. So all that thing, if it is getting digitized in any business and the data is getting collected, they can do a lot of things out of it. And the same time, the data coming from external sources like various other websites or some other sources, generic data, combining with your internal data, again further enrich the entire um, the data in your organization. Now from here starts the whole thing, okay, whole journey. If I ask you, what is data, then the first statement you make, say, is that data is an information, right? But it's not the truth. Okay, definitely there is an information in the data, but whatever data is available in the raw format immediately will not give you information. Lot of pre-processing, lot of engineering, lot of analysis you have to do to convert that data to information. Okay, so developing a dashboard is not an easy job. Okay, you have to get the data from various sources. Okay, you have to ingest it, you have to integrate it, you have to transform it, you have to analyze it, and then only you can convert that into meaningful information. Again, showing the information is also an art. Okay, so visualization, even data science in that matter, is not just a science, it's even a art also. Okay, so sometimes you have to become very creative in the sense, in visualization definitely you have to be creative, like how to depict the data, okay, because visually you can take more information when compared to the text. Okay, if I give you a report in the form of a table, it will take a lot of time, for you to understand. So you will start comparing the numbers. Okay, which one is high? So in your mind, you will do that subtraction and everything. Okay, division and everything to understand. Okay, where you are doing good, where you are not doing good, and all these things. But if I give you in the form of visuals like bar graphs, easily you can understand. Where you are doing good, where you are not doing good, and all these things. So visual, and to develop a chart is again an art. Now there's so much advanced uh, um, advancement happen in the field of visualization, visual analytics. Now you'll see very creative charts coming up. Not only just two variables, maximum in the 2D plots you can use y-axis and x-axis, right? But now with these innovative charts, you can add more dimensions to a single chart. More information you can show it. Okay, by adding just a color. Color could be one more dimension. Size can be one more dimension. Shape can be one more dimension. So like 4 or 5 dimensions you can show in just one single chart without developing a 3D or 4D plots. Okay, so that's an information. So it's a science as well as art. And when you're doing converting the data to information, when you're doing aggregation, sometimes you use a basic statistics like mean, median, mode. You have heard about it, right? So those are measures of central tendency. Now, if you want to understand the dispersion in the data, the variance in the data, so then we have standard deviation, we have variance, okay, we have interquartile range, okay, so all that thing you need to understand. Okay, so further, if you keep on understanding the statistics, you can slowly move into diagnostic analytics from the descriptive analytics. You'll start showing the relationship also onto your dashboard. So that's how the information, whatever you are generating of the data, would be much more meaningful for the business. Okay. Then, as I said, in the predictive analytics, you start acquiring knowledge from the data through machine learning algorithms. Okay, so machine learning, and then you have also heard about deep learning. So deep learning is a subset of machine learning. So initially there were only machine learning algorithms and people were very happy. Okay, because a lot of their problems are getting solved with these machine learning algorithms and they were doing pretty well, on the predictive side, okay, by using these algorithms. But what happened over the period of time is that the data started growing. Earlier, where we were dealing with 20 or 30 variables, now we started seeing 200 or 300 or even 1,000 variables. Okay, how to scale that? These algorithms are not built, to train the data at that scale. Then comes the deep learning. So in machine learning, the most advanced algorithm which was being discovered was artificial neural networks. Then people picked that neural networks and they started making it even more complex, highly scalable. Okay, because there was a scope of scaling those algorithms. Now all those neural networks now sit in this deep learning family. Okay, so now when you talk about images, when you talk about text, you have to deal with huge amount of data. So their machine learning algorithms would not work. There you have to go with the deep learning. As the name suggests, deep means it goes deep inside the data and start finding out better, patterns and relationships in the data. Okay. So with these algorithms, people started discovering a lot of knowledge from the data. Okay. And sometimes, and here I'll talk about the challenges, guys. It's not something, whatever data is given to us, we can able to develop a predictive model on top of it. So I can give you a scenario. There was one customer, okay, who said that I have lots of data in my SQL database. I'll give you the access. I want to see something predictive, and he was very excited. And I have enough data, and I want to see something predictive. And we were also very excited. Okay, अब इतना data है, तो definitely we can develop a good solution, predictive solution on top of that. Then when we access the data, when we started looking at the data was pathetic. So many gaps in the data. The data was not continuous. So neither, we can't even do some kind of forecasting on the data because the data has to be continuous in the chronological order. Okay, if there is any kind of a breaks in between, you cannot build a time series model. So that was the problem. There was lot of missing values. There were a lot of outliers in the data, which you will understand about this outliers and missing values. So data quality was not good. Okay. Then when we discuss with the customer, then customer clearly, he put down their hands and saying that okay, we can't do anything. This is the data. You do it. You apply whatever you want to apply. Artificial intelligence, right? Okay, bring something, okay, and improve the data. So that's the challenge. People feel that this data science and AI team can do wonders, okay, can do magical things. It's not. Guys, can you please go on mute? I'm hearing some noise. Okay. All right. So yeah. So the data is the key here, right? It's all about if the data is not good, then you will not able to get right predictions or right insights out of the data. So it's like garbage in and garbage out. Okay, and your analysis will become paralysis, right? So no point, of doing anything related to data science if your data is not in a good shape. To some extent, we can improve. Okay, so that's a challenge. Your business may feel that Data is given to this team and they can do wonders, but it's not the case. And to convince them and to explain them, sometimes it gets difficult. अरे सब कुछ तो दे दिया, what more they want? I don't think they know anything. People sometimes make that kind of a comment. I don't think they know. What more they want? Data. I gave them 1 terabyte of data. They will just talk on the size. Raj Kumar, do you have any question?
No.
Okay, so can you please, I request you to go on mute, please. Okay, thank you.
Questions.
All right. So that's the kind of a challenge you may face, okay, when you're working on the real problems. And sometimes it may happen that okay, the data is given to you, but you cannot train an accurate model on top of it. You may face a lot of challenges in terms of improving the accuracy of the model. Probably you might have not chosen the right variables or right factors, right features. Or probably you may have not done the right feature engineering. Okay, you kind of miss on certain important things, okay, to understand that particular domain. So those kind of challenges may come in. And you know what, whenever any request comes in, okay, people are majorly they are very excited, so they can't even wait. When we get a project, they say that okay, in a 1 week's time, can you show me the solution? I just want to see this quick prototype. Again, to convincing that okay, why it will take time, and explaining them the entire what kind of tasks you will perform on the data and how you can train the model. That sometimes become very difficult because business guys, they don't understand this whole technology and all those things, right? All these part, they will feel that okay, it's just a magical band which you will just turn and then everything will be done. Okay, so now that mindset is changing because a lot of awareness has come into the mindset, business mindset, and now they understand it's not simple, it's difficult. And to what do you say, to size any particular product, or come up with to measure the efforts and all, it's not easy for the data science products projects. So until unless you don't look at the data, you cannot comment anything about the solution. So the data is the key. All right, so yeah, coming back to this, so now that's the knowledge part, predictive analytics. And now the prescriptive analytics, the wisdom. Why it is named as a wisdom? Because if you know what decisions to be made. If you have a problem and you know how to solve it, and your model is telling you, is prescribing you the solution. What more you want? That is nothing but a kind of a wisdom state, right? So in our real life, when we say that okay, we have reached, when we have attained wisdom, when we got nirvana, when we say that when we have a complete control on our body and mind, right? And when we know what things would impact us and we don't get deviated from our path, right path, and we take right decisions, at that time we'll say that okay, we got wisdom, right? We know what is right, what is wrong for me. So if the business also get that kind of, they get into that state where they know what should be done, that is nothing but a wisdom state, right? Most of the companies, they are running their own business only through certain AI systems. For example, this Uber, how big the Uber company would be, how many people they might have employed. I think very few. The entire business, Uber and Ola, okay, is happening on the app only, right? That's an AI system. Nobody's deciding which cab to send to a particular customer. Okay, everything is decided automatically. Nobody's deciding what should be the fare. That is being decided automatically, right? Nobody's deciding, which route to take. That is also being decided automatically, right? So everything is decided, is running on its own, and that kind of an intelligent application has been built, where they have plugged in the models, they have plugged in the Google Maps and everything, and they're running this entire business, right? So that's the kind of a wisdom state. Okay, every business would like to, and that's where, and they cannot automate the entire business, but they are seeing where are the opportunities, where are the possibilities where they can deploy these AI applications and they can automate certain processes. And I would say that possibilities are numerous. Now, in recent past, you might have heard about generative AI like ChatGPT and all. This is completely, it's a altogether a now new paradigm shift, okay, which I'm seeing. Now, this has opened up the minds of the business even further, and they are seeing a lot of things can be done through generative AI. If you read any blog, they'll say that the entire content writing, even the presentations, your emails, everything can be drafted and can be created through this generative AI. Right? Even the visuals, the videos, creative videos, images, that also can be created through generative AI. Just you need to put the right prompt, it will do it for you. So people are showing interest on those kind of applications. Yeah, Garima, go ahead.
Yeah, just to share my experience on generative AI.
Go ahead.
Even Microsoft has incorporated generative AI internally for Microsoft employees,
Yes.
wherein we are using AI for writing emails. So now we don't struggle. We are not struggling to write emails for our customers. It's all automated based on the background history, the data we have. Everything is automated now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the possibility now. No, in fact, I would say that now currently we are building a lot of solutions. Now we are working with one of the customer. Now he's so much interested on generative AI. He sees that almost 30% of their cost can be reduced by using this generative AI. Now we are running a workshop with that customer to understand where all we can use generative AI. But with that said, we are also educating the customer that there has to be a close monitoring on these generative AI solutions. Because hallucination, you might have heard about hallucination. Sometimes, these generative AI solutions may give you some random response. So every business has to understand in those kind of situation how much impact the business may get. If it is generating to the end customers, if the customers get annoyed or if they don't like the responses and all things, so the impact would be more. The customer may not come back, right? If it is for internal user, the impact would be less. So that kind of impact analysis has to be done where exactly you want to use generative AI, how effective your generative AI would be in resolving your problem. Okay, so that kind of whole exercise we are doing in that workshop to identify the right use cases. Yeah. So with that said, so that's how the businesses are trying to improvise themselves, and they are going step by step. And even for you guys, if you want to get into this space of data science, your journey should be from here. Okay, it should not from top to bottom. It should from here to here, and that way, logically you will learn the things. You will get one step more deeper into it, and you will start understanding the deeper part of it. Okay, so this pyramid is known as DIKW pyramid. So this is overall data science, guys. I hope you may have got a now clear picture about what data science is. When we talk about AI, guys, so basically this part comes under AI. Okay, because if you see about the robots, okay, when they see something, so basically what they will do is so there is a predictive model which runs behind the scenes, which capture the image and then classify. Okay, so in front of me, what is the object? Is this a laptop? Okay, it's a desktop or whatever object it is. So the model has been trained on hundreds of such objects. So the object recognition or the object detection is the model which is running behind the scenes. Okay, in the robotics, in the robots, which will identify that. So even in your mobile camera, when you switch on the camera, it will identify the faces, right? You will get the rectangular box. So there is a face recognition algorithm which is running behind the scenes. So that part, that intelligence part comes from here. Okay. So that's the reason it is the most of the AI part. This part is known as BI, business intelligence. Okay, so business intelligence is the area where you are generating the intelligence and handing over to the business. Basically, you are generating the reports and the dashboards where you're showing the information, and that intelligence is going to the business to make the decisions. While in AI, it's artificial intelligence. You don't require any manual intervention. You just deploy the AI in the place of humans, and then your job is done, right? So, for example, recommendation system, chat bots, okay, even lot of defect detection kind of solutions. There's several solutions. Okay, if you can deploy and integrate it to your process, then it will replace the humans. Now, coming with this generative AI, there's a lot of discussions are happening that it may take out certain jobs, jobs where the basically the normal tasks people are doing, those kind of jobs can be moved out. Okay, can go away, and these generative AI applications will take over those jobs. Okay, so still, again in the AI world, there comes the AI ethics. Okay, so there's a huge community which basically decide which kind of solution should, which kind of algorithms, which kind of solutions should be go into mainstream, which should not impact the society. So that all that things will be covered in the AI ethics. Okay, so we cannot build a robots and deploy it in our armed forces. That's not ethical. Though we can do it, there's a lot of possibility, but we will not do it because that is not ethical. Here also, what kind of solutions we should introduce and the market should use, which should not impact the humans or the society. We should not create the unemployment, right? Otherwise, what's the use of this AI? So it will generate the revenue for the businesses, but ultimately the whole economy may get affected. So, so it's a bigger discussion. So yeah, so these are the two areas, and all this is nothing but a data science. Okay, I would not say that AI is a complete part of data science, but yeah, with data science you can do AI as well as BI. So that's about data science, guys. So we have limited time, so now I'll get into a course. So meanwhile, I open the other document. If you have any questions, then feel free to go ahead and ask questions. Any questions, guys? Any comments?
Do we have, Shrikant, I have a question. Do we have
Yeah.
a split of hours of learning? Like how many hours we're gonna give to?
That's what I'm opening up now.
Yeah.
So you will get a complete understanding about this course structure.
Great, thank you.
Apart from that, any other question? Okay, let me share this. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Content?
we can see.
All right. Okay, so the way I have structured this course is, I don't want to get into too complex, too depth. I want to basically see either in this data science, you can choose one topic and go deep into that. Okay, so you will get specialized in that particular area, or else you can go with, okay, you broaden your horizon and understand a lot of different topics in data science. So I would prefer the broader part, and later once you gain experience, you can get deep into certain areas. So when you go broadly, then lot of opportunities you can target. Okay, lot of opportunities would be open for you, and even for the people who have started, who are planning to start now, okay, to get into this space, even they'll see that there are opportunities where people may ask a lot of things, okay, in their interviews, and definitely the interview will not go in deep because they understand, okay, this guy is fresher or he has only 1 or 2 years of experience in this field, so they will not go deep. So I would say broader learning, more things, like what do you say, jack of all trades is the best policy, to get into this field. So for that, so with that thing in mind, okay, so I've came up with this structure. So firstly, though I have introduced what is data science, but further there are a lot of other things, which you need to understand. As you have seen, there are certain slides. So firstly, I will walk you through. I'll make you guys comfortable enough, in what is exactly data science, what you may have to do in day-to-day job. Okay, and I will share a lot of information and my experience, the way the projects get executed, and all those things. I'll clearly kind of make you understand. So that would be the first week. Okay, in the first week, not even entire week, but initial 2 to 3 days. Okay, and the new people also will also keep on joining in initial days. So it would be again, it would be easy for them, to understand what exactly is this subject. So as I said, the data is the most important ingredient of the data science. So firstly, we'll start with data. We'll directly not jump into science. We'll first start with the data and we will understand what data is. Okay. So data is not very simple. Okay. As we think about. So earlier we know that data which is in tabular format, rows and columns, facts and figures. Okay. That is the data, but not now the data definition is changed. Now even the images, videos, text, documents, files, all those are also are considered as a data, right? So what are those different data types, structured, semi-structured, unstructured, okay, and what are the different databases? What is the entire ecosystem of this structured and unstructured databases? We'll try to understand. Okay, then we will move to big data. People might have heard about data and big data. If I ask you what is the difference, I don't think anybody can able to give any specific or straightforward answer. So most of the people may feel that the data which is big. If I say quantify what big, you will not have any one single answer. Few people may say that more than 10 GB, or few people say that few people say petabytes, zettabytes. Okay, there's no definition of it. So we'll understand what exactly is big data. Okay, it's not just the volume. There's a lot of other things which also define the data as big. Okay, then we will get into IT part of it, little bit on the technology, Python programming side, because we need to have some tool, where we can apply all these concepts. Okay, so Python is the most widely accepted and used programming language for data science. One reason is because it is more versatile. You can build applications, you can develop machine learning, deep learning models, you can use statistics, one single stop for doing everything. Okay, that's a Python. Earlier we used to use R. I started my journey with R. R is majorly is a statistical programming language, but later they evolved and um, um, they made this whole programming language even supporting to machine learning algorithms and deep learning. But again, there's a limitation. The computation, the kind of processing this particular programming language R has, um, is not on par when compared to Python. Python is much more efficient, okay, and faster. So we will understand about Python, and again in Python different IDs like development environment, what kind of tools and platforms you can use, to build your Python programs. So we will understand that. Now, once we get the high level understanding about these three, data science, data, and the Python, then we get into science. Then we will start with statistics. We'll start with basic statistics. The people who are not from mathematics or statistics background, even they can understand. We'll start from that simple concepts like what is mean, median, mode. From there, we will get into different kinds of statistical tests like ANOVA, chi-square, okay, F-test, then correlation, regression. We'll go to that extent. And then we will relate those concepts with machine learning, because in machine learning also we utilize these concepts. Okay, so we will see that how these concepts are being utilized into this machine learning algorithms. So we will understand those parts. So descriptive analytics is more of a basics. Inferential analytics, here we go little advanced in statistical analysis, where we will use some kind of a diagnostic analytics. Okay, and then we will understand the business intelligence, the bottom part which I have shown you in the slide, right? So we will understand how we can explore the data. Once the data is given, the first step is like exploration. How you can build charts, how you can analyze your data in Python as well as on Tableau. Tableau is the very good visualization tool in the market available right now. So we have Power BI, of course. So, but when you compare Power BI and Tableau, personally, my experience is Tableau gives much more richer and fine charts, okay, and graphs when compared to Power BI. And there are certain limitations also in Power BI, okay, but the Tableau has much more flexibility. Now, this particular Tableau, initially it was an independent tool. So there was a entire different company which has built this Tableau, but it has been recently acquired by Salesforce. Now it is a product of a Salesforce. Okay, so we will understand this Tableau. And why I'm covering this Tableau is few people I've seen in my past when I was taking certain batches, there were certain people who were saying that so programming said earlier. So this is like I'm little scared. So can't I get into data science this space? So for them, the Tableau is a good choice. That there are a lot of opportunities for visualization experts. Okay, who can just with a simple logic. Okay, they need not to do heavy coding, right? Simple uh, maximum they have to come up with a creative calculated fields in Tableau. They have to write little bit of scripts, right? Queries, to extract the data. With that much understanding, they can develop dashboard and they can get into the space of data science. And then they can take their own time, to learn the programming skills, and then they can get into data. They can get into a data scientist profiles. Okay, so they need not to stop until they get a good hands-on experience on programming language. So they can start their journey now. So as it is a logical move, right? You have seen that it starts from BI and then it's get into AI. So that kind of a path, they can take. Okay, then we get into AI, where we will talk about predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics. It is just the content. More detail of each of these line items are below in this whole PDF. Okay, you will understand what kind of algorithms and to what level we are going to cover in this course. Okay, so not only just training the model, how we can test the model, what are the evaluation metrics, because that is the most important part of it. You can't just train the model and give it to the business and now this is the model, take it and use it, for your decision making. No, so you have to first test the model, whether the model is giving the right predictions or not. And and as a data scientist, first you have to get convinced that this model is good enough model and can be operationalized, can be deployed. Okay, so we'll see that how we can the model can be evaluated and what are the different evaluation metrics. The predictive side, then we get into descriptive. Then we get into deep learning. Okay, and in the deep learning, we'll talk about different algorithms like CNN or multi-perceptron neural networks or long short-term neural networks, okay, LSTMs. So that we will understand. Okay, and then we will get into NLP text. Again, as I said, this is a different field altogether. If you get into NLP, there's again too many things you may have to learn. So here we'll cover the basic fundamentals of NLP with a use case. If the text is given, how you should process the text. Because see, as I said, this data science is all about stats and maths, which is nothing but the numbers, right? Now, how this text can be analyzed? This is not a number; it is a string. Okay, so we'll see that how this text can be changed into a numeric form. Okay, and from that numeric form, how we can extract the information, you know, out of this text that we will understand. So before that, we have to process this text. So we'll talk about all the different techniques, to denoise this data and to transform that data into numeric. Similarly for the computer vision, again the images, the videos, again these are not the numbers, right? This is altogether different data. How we can transform the images again into numeric based on the pixel values, that we will understand. How we can process those images, okay, and how we can build some kind of a predictive model on the images. Like for example, I want to predict dogs versus cats, okay, or else I want to predict trucks and or the cars, okay. So how I can train the model, that we will see one of the use case. And finally, you understand, what are the different ways of solving the problem. Okay, for every algorithm, for every topic, there would be a use case, guys. Okay, so I'll explain you the problem statement, I'll show you the data, and then we together we will go and solve that problem by training the model on top of it. So all the source codes, data, everything will be shared with you along with the class recordings. Okay, and the handouts will be also provided to you, okay, which is being developed by me. Okay, it's a custom handouts. Okay, and a simple language which will help you to understand all these algorithms. Okay, and finally, once we develop this solution, now you would be also interested to know that how basically these models get deployed. Okay, in the production environment. So we will understand that part also. Okay, so completely end to end we will understand, starting from the problem statement. We will discuss on the problem statement, then we will get into the data, we explore the data, we analyze the data, then we train the model, then we evaluate the model, and finally we will talk about model deployment. Okay, so here, Garima, we have not defined how many hours particularly we take for each of the topics. Sometimes students ask to reiterate or re-explain a particular topic, so we may get we may have to explain it again. Sometimes we take two topics in a one single class if things are going very smoothly and people are picking up quickly. So overall, the duration of the course would be somewhere between 2.5 months to 3 months. So it's not that today, 13th of September, we started and we end it in 10th of November. Okay. So there's a range, 2.5 months to 3 months it may take. Okay. If the students are picking up quickly, then it may end, at 2.5 months from now, or else it may extend to few weeks. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
And we'll also give you a lot of other data sets, for you guys, to practice. Okay. So how much ever, you have appetite, that much, material we can share with you. Okay. So this is the detailed topics in each of those areas, what all we will cover. So you can have a look at it. And if you want to compare with any other course, you can compare. Okay, and then you can take a decision. Okay, so these are all the things. Okay. So overall, yeah, so one part I missed it. Okay, so on the big data side, we will also cover Spark, which is a big data technology. This is a real-time analytics engine which is being built on top of Hadoop. Okay, so we might have heard about Hadoop. It's a big data ecosystem where the data can be processed parallelly in a distributed fashion. Okay, that we will understand what all that big data thing is, and then we understand about this Spark. And in Spark, you can use multiple languages, programming language. You can either use Python, Java, or Scala. Okay, but nowadays, because data scientists they have a good understanding on Python, that's a basic skill. Now, as Python is one of the programming language which we can use in Spark, so people are moving to Spark and using Python inside Spark. So that is considered as a PySpark. Okay, so we'll understand. There's a little bit difference between the syntaxes. Okay, uh, which we use in native Python and in Spark. Okay, so that we will understand. And this by using PySpark, you can analyze larger data sets. Okay, and even the streaming data you can analyze by using Spark. Okay, so we will understand PySpark. So on the programming front, we will cover these two. Earlier we used to cover R, but we have dropped it because there's not much ask in the market on R. On the software side, we will cover Tableau, and these are the different IDs, okay, Spider or Jupyter Notebook, and we will cover few more IDs also. But predominantly, in for our use cases, we will use these two a lot, okay. And then we will also cover Apache Spark. Additional support which we'll give in the last week of the course before we wrap up. So interview questions. First thing is like when I'm explaining you all these topics, I'll give you a lot of ideas about what kind of questions could be asked related to that topic and how you have to answer and all those things. But after before ending, I'll give you a set of interview questions along with the answers which you can prepare, okay, for the exams for your interviews. Personal mentoring, everyone will have a different background, right? A different interest or different skills. So if you want, you can connect one. We can connect one to one, and we can discuss your case, and I can help you out in terms of what learning path you should take, and what kind of jobs you should target for. And accordingly, I will also assist you in developing your CVs, building your CVs. when you're building your CV, you have to choose the right projects. You have to put the right project and right number of projects. Not only just right project, but right number of projects. I've seen few people, they have done a mistake that they've shown 2 years of experience, but they put more than 10 or 20 projects. Okay, nobody will believe that with 2 years of experience, how this guy can do these many projects, right? So you have to be very careful while putting out the projects. Okay, that we will discuss. And yeah, live projects, all the use cases that would be live and we will be doing together, during the course. Yeah, so that's what we are offering. Any questions on this part? Garima, I hope I answered your question, or still you have any questions?
No, no, yeah, you have covered the answer. You have actually given the relevant description of the question. And one more thing, Shrikant, since I couldn't find a math aspect in this, could you please highlight where we learn math part of this, since it is part of scientific learning as well?
Okay, so maths majorly will be covered in the machine learning part. As I said, machine learning predominantly are the mathematical models. So there we will cover the maths part. And
Alright.
maths part is not like something, okay, I'll first teach maths and then it's like simultaneously we'll cover those topics. Sometimes we, for one of the topic like gradient descent, where I will touch one topic of mathematics like derivatives. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there I will cover that part of maths. But rest is all about linear algebra, calculus, and all those things, which you will understand while learning about the algorithms.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So finally, are you guys not interested to know about me?
Yes, interesting.